just like it's working.
Can you put, well, the data doesn't show it's working. I showed you some of the numbers. The data doesn't show that it's working. It may be working for your students, but overall it's not working for the district or for the majority of the students by the data.
That's because you're saying that they're in there too long and they're getting out of focus. That's what I'm saying, maybe a 5 minutes, maybe the 90 minutes to refocus might be what's going to help them, right?
They do have breaks now in their schedule. So I want to stop everyone and ask you to please fill out your feedback sheet and give your suggestions. And then go to the tables and you can ask specific questions to the high school principals about your specific student or specific schedule. They've been attending all of the meetings and looking at all of the data, and they can answer your specific questions, and we will capture your questions and consider them. But again, in fact, I'm going to make a recommendation that is good for the entire secondary population. That's a recommendation that I'm going to give to the superintendent to try to meet the needs of all students and employees. I'm going to bring that in February. I'm going to present it to the board in February, one of the mid-February board meeting. I think there's going to be 2. Always, yes. Board meetings are open to the public. Question over here?
She said about having breaking inside of the current block schedule. I think that would probably be more effective than going to a period system, because I'm trying to become a physicist and I need more math. But if I can't take the math classes I need because of the period system, then how am I going to get a good career?
Also,
your data says that the classes are too long, but why can't I break 5-10 minutes work? I mean, I don't get it. There's a passing period that doesn't seem to really focus people. There's lunch, people coming after lunch. They're not really focused. I mean, it doesn't really matter how long the classes are. It just matters on the person's will. I mean, if you really think the data is showing you that the longer classes are causing problems, just add a break. It seems like it makes more sense. You don't have to reorganize the whole system just to fix one problem.
I hear you, and I also remind everyone here that we do have concurrent enrollment where you can go to Chicago College or community college and also take extra classes. That's something excuse me, I'm sharing information. I'm telling him that we don't have a lot. At one of our schools, we have a significant number of students that are taking concurrent enrollment, and I'm letting him know that that's an option for him. It's an option.
Also, too,
it's something that we offer. I hear what you're saying. Yes.
I have two questions or points. The first is, it has been pointed out that San Lorenzo School District used to have the 6-period system. Why wasn't any data shown on how that was working? That is supposedly the failure of that is what made us move on to the to try something new to see if that would do better. Secondly, either way, and this is a more serious point, we have a whole lot of individuals, and the federal government, and the state government, and the city government don't seem to get it, that there is no one-size-fits-all solution. What we can this school district has 3 high school campuses. Why can't we have one campus that does 6-period system and a campus that does something that fits each need within our community? So if we try to do everything the same, we're going to get the same results we've been having.
And we do. He has a point, and so this is an information session. So I want people to know what's going on, so that when you make a comment, that you actually know what's going on in our schools. At East Bay Arts, when they opened up as a small learning community, they took all of this into consideration, and so they do have a 7-period day with a daily advisory. So if you talk to Don Keith, He has a different schedule. He's already thought outside of the box when they opened up that school, and so they haven't been in existence that long, but they're having some success with that. And so that's a point that people are making, but when you're trying to do trainings and get people at the same time to different high schools, that would be different. And when you're buying books and doing centralized training, if they're on different places in the system, that would be difficult to serve them, but it is a point to make, and someone else has brought that up. Many people have brought that up before. So put it down in your notes, and that's something we'll take to the superintendent and the board. Okay. One other last comment, and then we'll go to the table.
Now, a lot of kids are able to do their homework and have a teacher or an assistant to answer any questions and get it done and have the knowledge they need to complete that homework in our class. That means that homework can happen from home, and they don't always have people to ask. And then if you have 2 or 3 or 4 classes that homework happens from home, they are overwhelmed. And so then you get kids that after an hour or 2 hours say, forget it, I'm not doing it. And then you have more failure in classes. So I don't understand that. I mean, we want to bring the grades up, but yet you're shifting it so that they have to do more homework, but they don't have the opportunity to talk to the teacher and get the answers, or another student that's doing well in class and get the answers that they want.
I hear your point, but the key word is homework. It's supposed to be done at home. So that's to reinforce what you're doing in the class. The original point of having a longer period, the original one, this is the last comment. The original point of having a longer period is to have the bell-to-bell instruction so that you can do direct instruction, you can group students, you can do individual work, and then you can also do some extended activities within the classroom, not to do the homework. It was never extended to do the homework in the classroom.
But the kids do.
I know they do. That's a problem. And that might be part of the problem.
Questions where they take it home and they have 3 or 4 classes.
Exactly.
They don't have the opportunity.
That might be why kids like it a lot, because they get to do homework there, but that's not the initial intent of that time. It's not the intent of that time.
I don't think it's being able to do the homework in class, but having the assistance to do it. Because not every parent can do physics or even algebra. I mean, how long ago did we all take those? Do we remember them? No. If you're lucky to have a computer, you can Google it out and maybe help you out, but who's going to help you at home?
And that's a part of the front loading that I put up there, that you can have a class prior to that class that will help you learn some of those things. I'm going to call time. We're never going to get to the end of it. I do appreciate you coming out. Can you please put your thoughts on paper, and I'm going to ask you to put it on the table in the back, and I'll take 2, and then we'll...
If we put our thoughts down on paper, who's going to look at all of them? If we don't,
I have a committee.
If we don't answer these questions answered now, we're never going to know. We're not going to know what's exactly going to happen.
How are you going to answer the question?
How will we know our question is?
We're going to post on the web, so we can do some questions on the web.
Everybody has the internet.
We have a district website, so we're going to post the PowerPoint, and then we can stream your questions in. And it may not be that we can answer every single question. There are 100 chairs here, so you might have a point, but I am going to read them, and so will the committee. The California Department of Education, you can go back and track our data, our progress on the California Department of Education website. You can put in San Lorenzo, you can find out data for each of our schools, and you can compare us to similar school districts and all of that under data quest. Yes. I'm making a recommendation to the school board to improve education for the schedules for secondary ed. I'm going to make a recommendation. The board is going to look at what I say, and they're going to decide if they think that we should change to a better schedule. February board meeting, mid-February. The mid-February board meeting. It's a public meeting. At this point, I want to thank you for coming. Please put your feedback on the table. I cannot promise you that I'm going to answer 100, but I am going to read them, and the committee will process that in our data gathering and decision making. And, we made available for the board. That's what I can promise you. The board will see your questions and my responses to that, so they can use that to say yay or nay to the recommendation that I'm going to make. So I have been capturing